pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Roll.
Kleiner. Witt. Here. Johnson.
Here.
Ramkissoon.
Here.
Summers.
Here.
Jean-Francois.
Here.
Burr.
Here.
Massey.
Here.
President Rodriguez.
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Approval of minutes.
We have the minutes from the Common Council meeting from November 2nd, 2015.
I have a motion to approve the minutes. Alderman Summers, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence.
Okay, we have correspondence from Orange County Medicoach. They're asking for the city of Middletown to please change the taxi ordinance for yearly taxi medallion renewals.
For the Corporation Council.
We have another correspondence from Orange County Medicoach asking the city to permit the licensing of SUV vehicles, minivans to be added to the taxi ordinance as medallion vehicles.
For the Corporation Council.
That is all for correspondence.
Okay, for the good of the city, anyone would like to come up and address this council, please step forward. Hello.
Sure. Thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time tonight. My name is Sherry Eccleston, and I'm the external marketer for Highland Rehab and Nursing. We're a 98-bed skilled nursing facility right here on Highland Avenue. Highland is a personal health care facility committed to quality care. And along with good care, we are making some physical improvements to our building. I'd like to introduce Faith Levesque. She's our administrator, to discuss a couple things that we're doing to improve Highland.
Thank you for having us. We just wanted to touch base. We met with the mayor. I know you all know St. Teresa's. We changed ownership about 3 years ago, actually, in February. And we made a lot of changes to the facility, and we're looking to partner with the city of Middletown, being that we're in Middletown. We're providing a lot of short-term rehab. We do physical, occupational, and speech therapy 6 times a week. So we have about half of our facility coming and going constantly, coming from the hospital and then returning back to the community. And then we have our long-term residents that we provide care for. As you could see, we made some upgrades outside of the facility. We had a lot of dangerous trees. But now we're making some upgrades into the facility, starting at the end of this month. And then once that's all complete in the spring, we'll have a ribbon cutting and a grand opening. But you're all more than welcome to come to the facility at any point, just to come visit and see, all the changes that we've done. But really our big focus is partnering with the city of Middletown, participating in anything that you have going on, and just keeping us in mind for anything that you need. And we're here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Alberto Rodriguez. I'm kind of nervous. The reason I'm here, thank you for having me here. The reason I'm here is because I came to City Hall to basically try to put another parking spot where I live. I've been living in Middletown for 10 years. And when I came, the commissioner told me that I wasn't allowed to put another parking spot because I have 3 children and a wife and me. We have 5 cars. And it's a nightmare for me coming from work at 1 in the morning and then having the kids to move the cars, especially in the winter time, it's a nightmare. So I was hoping if there's any way you can try to help me with that.
You can give your address. You don't have to give it over the mic.
I'm familiar with it because I met with Jacob. And how you doing? Good. We've had a couple requests, and basically what Mr. Rodriguez is asking for is we allow in our code for up to 20 feet wide driveway for a single family residence. Many people have put a second driveway in, but he actually and the other person that came in is actually the person who's doing it the right way, and came in and asked permission. Unfortunately, we have no problem with him doing it, but Jacob cannot issue the permit because our code doesn't give any discretion on a single-family home that it does on a two-family home. So what we're going to look to do is to amend the code at the next meeting. I think Rich is researching it to, not to say no right up front. You know, we don't want everyone to have multiple driveways, but where the property doesn't fit, or where the property won't accommodate a 20-foot wide driveway, or might accommodate better 2 10-foot driveways, to leave that in the discretion of the Commissioner of Public Works, so that people don't have to come to the meetings and ask for waivers and take things for, you know, a month or two to get through. So basically, we're going to be introducing a request to change the ordinance to allow for the Commissioner of Public Works to have that discretion, because as he said, you have many more people now with, you know, multi-car families. So I don't know if it can be done, how quickly it can be done, but hopefully it'll be done very quickly, especially with the parking ordinances changing with the no overnight parking on the streets. So that's the problem, is that he actually is doing it the right way, and he got kicked in the tail for it. So, and we have another person on Bunnell, the same thing. So we're going to ask for, you know, if it can be done. Jacob may even have language tonight that you can.
Rich is working on it. We already
He has
discussed it in your office.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's simple language, and all it is it's not giving everyone authorization to do it. It's just giving the Commissioner of Public Works the discretion to issue the permit, and he doesn't have it now for single-family homes. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to address the council?
Yes, my name is Nancy Rakowski. I live at 21 Willow Place. I just want to thank everybody for the helpful information we received at the last ward meeting about our water and the construction concerns. The topographical maps and answers to many questions eased our concerns and made us feel a little bit better about our problems. We still are concerned when Thursdays we're supposed to get plenty of rain and our flooding issues, but at least we feel now that our concerns are being addressed and looked at upon more seriously by the council and everybody in Middletown. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to address the council? Okay, remarks to the department heads. Economic Development, Maria?
Good evening, everyone. I just want a couple economic development projects that I'm sure you've all read and heard is the Sound and Movie Studio that we had a press conference last week on Midland Avenue, one of the largest 60,000 square foot movie studios. I know the mayor will probably be touching a little bit more on that. Also, Equilibrium Brewery, we had our closing about a week and a half ago, so construction, I've seen the contractors in and out of there already. So we're moving forward in adaptive reuse of old buildings. I mean, we're proving that we can do that. Also, let's not forget, November 27th, the tree lighting ceremony in downtown. The parade, the lighting, the parade will feature the marching middies. The Middletown football team will be marching in the Erie Bell. And our special guest Santa will arrive, and the holiday season gets kicked off that night. That's all I have for.
Any questions for Maria? Thank you, Maria. Fire Chief?
Good evening. I don't really have too much tonight. It's just that we've been pretty quiet, which is a good thing. Our fire prevention is really working, which is a good thing for us, especially it's getting cold out. The only thing I do have for next year, our annual fire inspection parade, is going to be moved to September 10th, instead of October. We're moving it back to where it was. That's really all I have tonight.
Any questions for the Fire Chief? Thank you, Chief. DPW Commissioner?
Good evening, all. My monthly report about the sludge and the septage hauling, the revenue that we generated this month is $42,345. Again, this is the highest October that we have generated, the highest revenue that we have generated in October. We are so far this year $357,000 in revenue that we have generated outside city of Middletown. Again, taxpayers' revenue generated from septic haulers, all from outside the city. We promised you, the mayor and I, back in 2005, that we're going to be generating $400,000 per year of revenue, and we're hoping that this year, I'm hoping that in December, we'll be able to report to you that we did reach that milestone. And from there on, we intend to continue to pursue this of generating revenue from our infrastructure. For that, of course, we owe a lot of thanks for the elected officials present here and who are not present here. They were present since 2005 on, for their continuing support for our operations. And also I want to compliment the men and women who are making sure that this revenue is coming, which are the operators and the workers in DPW. Before you tonight, there are a few resolutions. Some of them are for New York Rising. The mayor and I don't know, you're going to speak about it, Mayor, or you want? All right. About New York Rising, we're going to start part of the grant that the mayor was able to obtain through New York Rising is $2 million, the first shot of it, and it's going to be regarding upgrade of the Manhagan Brook that goes under Fulton Street, under Academy, all the way to Junong. It's going to be, we're going to be looking at different alternatives. One of them is repairing the brook, underground brook itself. Second alternative will be daylighting the brook between Academy, from Academy Avenue all the way to Junong Street. Daylighting meaning that we're going to dig up whatever is underground in there, remove the box culvert, and then we'll do some recreational walkway, bicycle tracks and all that stuff around the brook once it's open. That's daylighting the brook. Of course, that project was generated with the great input and effort of New York Rising Committee, which are volunteers committee. The mayor may be speaking about them. Chief Winner is here. He was part of the one of the instrumental people dealing with this. I guess we have to fix this too, right? I see a couple of screws are missing. A couple of screws. My apologies. Goes under, that goes under my department, so I
took them from there.
I apologize for that. So the mayor and I today, we were before Orange County Transportation Council as well, and we're very excited about a project in there at a cost of $7.5 million in there. 80% of it is going to be paid by the federal government through the DOT grant, which is basically upgrading all of our intersections throughout the federally highway recognized routes throughout the city of Middletown, which is basically Dawson Avenue from City Line all the way to Fulton. From Fulton, you follow it to Manhagan. From Manhagan, you go all the way to City Line on 211, and then you come back to West Main Street and through the North Street. All these traffic lights and intersections will be upgraded, and including ADA compliance, curbs, sidewalks, widening the intersections, creating lanes if lanes needs to be created, adding pedestrian crossings that are ADA compliant, meaning that are going to be audible and count down for the pedestrian streetlight crossings, which we currently don't have in the city. And we've been waiting for this project to get started, and we're very happy to say that we have initiated that. And today the mayor and I, we came from a meeting to cement that this project will be initiated and will be funded. The start of the design will be done during this fiscal year. Federal fiscal year starts October 2015 and it ends beginning of October 2016. Also, the roundabout, the final design is being completed. That's on County Route 78, James P. Callaway. That's another project the mayor and I discussed today with Orange County Transportation Council. Again, 80% is going to be funded by the federal funding, and another, hopefully the 20% will qualify through a grant from the state to cover our 20% local share. Last night we had a sewer line break, and we found out where it is because of us trying to troubleshoot our sewer lines. That's what we do. We send the camera underground to troubleshoot our sewer lines. And we found a section in there that was collapsed on Harding Street. and it was about 9 foot deep. So the guys in the water and sewer department, they did a really great job. They worked until almost midnight last night to replace a section of that sewer line that has collapsed. It's an old clay pipe, and this is another reason that we should remember what we have underground, which is our buried infrastructure, and we just have to keep it maintained and keep it going because this is our lifeline. And with that, I will stop if you have any questions.
Any question for Jacob? Alderman Kleiner?
How is the leaf pickup going? I know in the second ward, it started on November 2nd, and people really, I don't think, put their leaves out until starting on November 2nd because they didn't want to be ahead of time, but your trucks went through so fast. And right now, I know Star Haven's like a tunnel going down it. There are a lot of parts of the second ward that really the leaves are out. And I know you say 3 feet into the road there. I think our code or on the website it says 4 feet, but still, it doesn't leave a lot of room in the middle on some of these streets. Will you be staggering it, at least getting back there before, or are you going to finish the fourth ward first, or how is that going to work? Because people have asked that.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
what we're doing is, like you suggested, we started with the second ward, and then first ward, and then fourth, and then we're going to be doing third. By the middle of this week, we're going to be doing third, and then we're going to start all over again. But we cannot just jump all over the place, unfortunately, because we have continuation, we have a cruise going, and we have the police department going around to people telling them, hey, you got to keep it within 3 to 4 feet from the curb. Please, just reminding people because it could become real hazard, and just try to keep an eye on it, and we're going to get there.
I mean, that's what we're concerned about, just as the pile, you keep it 3 feet, but then the piles get higher and higher. But obviously, if you get a storm and you get a lot of wind, then they're going to be all over the streets. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so much we can do, right? We have 2 crews going right now, and you can put it on your front yard too. It doesn't have to be right at the edge of the street. You can put it on your front yard if you have grass, like in the second ward, and we'll pull it. Our guys will pull it. We'll rake it into the street. So it doesn't have to be really in the street. If you have a huge pile, we would rake it from your front yard. So don't block the road. We'll come and get it from your front yard as long as it is right close to the edge of the road.
Okay, sounds good. But.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Alderman Burr?
And also, Commissioner, they can put it in the brown bags or buckets, and your yard waste will still pick it up on regular weekly.
Yes, we're still picking up yard waste, absolutely. Right. We have another crew that comes to pick up the yard waste, absolutely. Yeah.
Jacob, going back to the state hospital, I thank you for all the hard work you did with the lights, but we are still having some of the lights that are still out. Can we find out if Rotolo's going to repair them? Or
absolutely.
There's about, I think, 11 of them.
Absolutely.
One of the strips of the streets up there.
Absolutely. We'll go troubleshoot them at night and we'll find out which ones.
And speaking about storms, salt. Are we good on salt? I mean, last year we had a shortage. And are we good on salt?
No, right now we are short.
Okay.
And again, as I stated many times, the prudent thing to do is to keep our salt storage facility topped off at all times. At all times, because you never know. As you guys remember, we have had shortages in salt supplies in the middle of the winter. It's because everybody's asking for it. All the local storage areas, they were exhausted, so they had to ship salt. We had to wait for people. I remember many days the mayor, he called the governor's office to try to get some salt in here in the previous snowstorms to help us out. And we found out that we had more stored in our facility than the state facility in here. So they couldn't even be anyhow. So the prudent things to do is all the time to have salt stored at all times, topped off, regardless of what we do. So right now, I do need 500 tons in there to top off our facility before the snow starts flying.
Okay.
So I would appreciate anybody's support to get us this money transferred from the general fund in order to be able to top off our salt facility.
Okay. Alderman Massey?
Well, since you brought it up, and you want to have this discussion, I have no problems with it. I understand that you have money within your budget. You mentioned at the Board of Estimate meeting the other day that you have enough money in your budget to transfer to get that salt, and we have no problems doing that. It was the idea of tapping that fund balance again, but you mentioned the other day at the Board of Estimate meeting that you had an account that you can make that transfer, and if by some chance there was an emergency wherever you're transferring that money from, we would then look at the fund balance. But to use the fund balance money when you have money in your budget that you can transfer seems to be the prudent thing to do rather than tap our fund balance. We had a finance meeting tonight, and a lot of the questions were, we're transferring $298,000 from our fund balance to balance the budget for next year. That $35,000 would have to be added. So, I mean, if you have the money and if you think the salt, and I believe you're 100% right, you're the professional on this, if we need to top that off, then transfer it from your budget line rather than tapping the general fund again.
Anyone else? Alderman Kleiner?
Yeah, one more question. The recycling center, because we have Thanksgiving week coming up, and you know, we have no recycling, and also the center's closed on Thursday and Friday of that week. So is it open till 3 or 3:15? Is it that?
Really, it should be open until 3:30.
Till 3:30, because when you look on the website for the collection schedule, it says it closes at 3 p.m., and I know sometimes it does, but, you know, it gets really tight. You get all this, you get a lot of recyclables over the holidays, and you really have a few options for where to put them, so if we could be sure and at least have it open that extra 15 minutes or half an hour.
Absolutely.
For the week following, it might help.
Yeah, I'll make sure that it is open until 3:30.
So 3:30, okay.
If I may, just make one comment about what Alderman Massey said. What I said in the Board of Estimate meeting, so that they don't feel, the Board of Estimate does not feel that we're taking money from the general fund. I said, guys, you gotta relax. This is the prudent thing to do. We have to have salt stored in there. To put your mind at ease, we'll probably have money left over in our budget, in DPW budget, to give back as much as we want to take right now to buy the salt. That is the proper way of doing accounting. I can't mix my accounts left and right, grab from here and take from here and go buy here and go to fix the truck from here. This is not how this is not how I deal with my budget. If that is the wishes of the council, to mix and match, and then at the end of the year we see what is short and then we'll supplement it, you direct me of that, I'll be happy to do it. But I will not do it on my own to go to try to grab from here. I was trying to make a nice gesture in there to put the Board of Estimate mind at ease, to let them know that at the end of the year, we probably have enough money coming back to you guys from our current operating budget in DPW. The reason behind it is I scrutinize every penny. You guys approve for us hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars for DPW. I scrutinize, and my middle management, we scrutinize every penny that we spend in repair of a truck, spare tire, replacing tires, changing oil, everything. I scrutinize it. I have to approve every dollar that is spent from my budget, which is millions of dollars. And that's what I do sitting on my computer terminal. I will not mix and match and play this and that. I'm not saying you want me to do that, but that's what's going to end up happening in there. The prudent thing to do is to approve the money, transfer it to me from the general fund, then we know we're short on this item in there. At the end of the year, whatever money I have, we're not going to eat it. It's going to go back into the general fund. Like every year, I try to direct back to you guys hundreds of thousands of dollars. I can't be sure of it until the year is over. But I'm not going to start playing, here, take from this account, supplement this account. At the end of the year, if you're short, I don't work this way. I do not.
Well, you happen to mention at that Board of Estimate meeting that the line that you were going to take that from, I believe, was 2 employees that were not going to from here till the end of the year, that it was in that account. And so I see no problems with, if you have that money in that account, using that money.
Okay. And I have 2 employees right now. I'm trying to fill these vacant positions because we're short. We are short. We have 2 guys out in workman's comp in there. They're not functioning. We're filling up their spots with what I have in manpower. I have 2 candidates in there with CDLs that I would like to fill these 2 spots with. I said, I'll probably have, again, I was very careful, and you can go to the tape. I said, we probably have money or fund available in there to cover whatever you're gonna give me to buy the salt. And that's what I said.
Okay. Thank you, Jacob. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir.
Corporation Counsel. Nothing unless there are any questions. Any questions for Corporation Counsel? Nope. Thank you. City Clerk?
I have nothing this evening, thank you.
Any questions for John? Mayor?
Any questions? I wanted to welcome Faith and Sherry. Maria Brewery and I had a nice tour of Highland Manor, and they have begun to work on the inside. It's a huge improvement from the St. Teresa's days, and you know the rumors were back then that St. Teresa's was going to close because they needed a huge investment, and the company purchased the property and has not only kept it open but is making a significant investment there. Sherry's only problem is that she's from Port Jervis, and when you mentioned the Erie Bell, she cringed a little bit. So, but we again, and they do have a huge flow of people going in and out of the building on a daily basis. Half the beds are rehab, so it's a very nice facility. We saw a little bit of the rehab and the exterior. You can see yourself if you don't go in, but really a nice job, and the staff was great, and we want to thank them for the invite, and we wish more businesses would do the invites, and so that we can become more familiar with what's going on in the city. Maria also mentioned the Michelson Studio project. It's going to be a big project for our community. Governor Cuomo, they put in a 30% tax credit. That's what's driving all the movie production in New York. New Jersey cut it, and a few other states have cut it. And the investment credit, the tax credit has really brought about a lot of inquiries too. We're working with another company now that's looking at doing something similar. So, these are all, when I say tax credits, that has nothing to do with us. That's all state tax credits. These are taxable properties, and that will bring an influx of people and business into the restaurants, into the hotels, and it's just a great project. And the developer, I think, when Dick was trying to nail him, Dick Main from the record was trying to nail him how much of an investment they made, and he would only say greater than 500,000, but my understanding is it's approaching probably $1 million or more.
It's over $2 million.
Over close to $2 million. Miguel knows because he's the one that really lined up the project. So it's a welcome addition to the city. We're going to look at, as if you're all familiar with the location, Midland Avenue is an industrial part of the city, the old leading up to the Flanagan building. And they're doing some exterior repairs now. And probably in this year's capital budget, we're going to look for some money to do some improvements along Midland Avenue, along the railroad tracks to improve the aesthetics of give it a little bit different look from the industrial area that it is. So we'll be discussing that at capital budget time. Speaking of budgets, I understand Mr. Massey had a finance committee meeting this evening, and we are scheduled to have a public hearing on December 1st for the budget. We will be posting, if it's not already posted, on our website, the budget for the public to review. It's available in the clerk's office for review also. Once again, we have stayed within the property tax cap, and I believe if Don was here, the state has to certify that process in order for our residents to be eligible for rebates from the state program. But more importantly, we did stay within the property tax cap. We did not add the 3 firemen. We did cut the addition, the 3 vacancies. We did not fill them. If you saw the article today, Port Jervis, and I think Mayor Decker was right on the spot, that we have to make tough decisions as we move forward. This budget, although balanced, has subsidies from our fund balance. Has about $298,000 from our fund balance, and about $600,000 from our debt service fund balance. Also has a one-shot revenue of sale of real property. The Flanagan building, the RFP is ready after about 2 years of litigation, so we will be selling that property. And I believe the minimum bid we put out was $750,000 on the property. So when you look at one-shot revenues or fund balances, at some point we're going to run out. I know Mr. Massey's committee is looking and working on the options on sanitation, and any other ideas would be helpful for where we can save some money. And not just one-shot monies, I'm talking about operational. So we need to begin the process or continue the process of rethinking how we deliver services. And our preliminary views on the sanitation issue is that we have at least probably anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million potential savings in the sanitation department, but they depend upon certain actions by the city, and they include total privatization, which I know Mr. Massey has advocated, to some other people are advocating the use of the mechanical arm, which will then require a capital investment, and along with the way we pick up your garbage. We have talked about it for a couple of years that a lot of people aren't using the cans, but if we do go to this, we're going to have to, it's going to be mandated. Even if we don't go to it, I think we're going to start enforcing it, because the bags of garbage on the street really tear down your neighborhood, and they get torn open. Now the crows are in town, and they're tearing open the bags and litter all around. So it's not a good thing. So we're asking people for now to at least cooperate with the current ordinance. Put your garbage into garbage pails. Makes it easier. The sanitation people don't have to worry about cutting their hand. They don't know what's in the bag. And then we will have adequate public input on the any option, if we go to another option of sanitation pickup, where we see the biggest savings at this point. The Woolworth Building project is moving ahead. We had a meeting this week with myself, Maria Jacob, and the architects. We're also submitting an additional grant. It's going to be done in 2 phases. Phase 1, we believe we have adequate money to cover, which would be the creation of the 16-foot wide pathway through with the skylights, the facade work, and the back entrance work that needs to be done to go out behind the demolition of the rear of the Woolworth Building, and then some of the site work behind it. Phase 2 is going to probably be equally as large. I spoke with Assemblywoman Gunther's office this week about grant opportunities, and she's willing to entertain another application regarding that project. So that's exciting news. We may be able to get to that project, complete the project quicker than we thought. And also Senator Bonasic's office is willing to entertain another application regarding that project. We also have finally fully submitted the court grant application. As you know, there's a $2.7 million grant coming through Assemblywoman Gunther's office regarding the purchase of the former federal court building and the office building to the right of it, the vacant office building that does need some work. The purchase price is $2.2 million. The state will be putting up $500,000 for renovation. The city will match the $500,000 for renovation work, and we will also throw in the soft cost of $150,000. So for $650,000, we're going to be getting $2.7 million in state funding. And we're hoping that we'll be able to start drawing down and closing on that deal very shortly. We did get some, we had some delays on appraisals and some paperwork that needed to be done, but the project is fully submitted, and we're hoping to hear very shortly on that. King Street, you have a resolution tonight accepting the bids. As you know, the original low bidder did back out. You have in front of you tonight we modified the project a little bit, and it includes all of what we talked about after we modified with the handicap accessibility across North Street, the sidewalk marking, the street markings with the pavers will be, we changed from regular pavers to a bluestone paver. We were able, within budget, to go with the granite curbing. So I think you'll be very impressed with the project when it's done. Also, Something Sweet, the clock has come in that the Something Sweet restaurant, who runs the Run for Downtown, it's a $26,000 town square clock, will be placed at the top of the street, and that was donated by the Run for Downtown. So we want to thank Dave and Anna Madden once again for their contribution. We have been meeting regarding the concerns of the neighbors on County Route 78, and as Mrs. Rukowski spoke, the flooding issues there, and we're also looking at more long-term now, too, about when we saw the map by the private, the engineering firm for the company, we saw a huge catchment area of water that comes down to that railroad bed. We've identified, or Jacob has identified, part of the problem to be the old Lake Reuben that is clogging up, and we're going to look for some cooperation with the town of Wallkill to see if we can get in there and do some maintenance in that. It's private property. So we're hoping to get some cooperation to get that water flowing again, which might alleviate, hopefully will alleviate some of the flooding issues. And we're going to continue to monitor the project very closely. As you know, the traffic consultant that will be hired by the developer, we are also having a traffic consultant do the reviews also on our side, not accepting the, just to verify, trust and verify, I guess we can call it. So we're in a position now to not only address the concerns, the flooding concerns, potential flooding concerns from this project, but also from the existing problems that are there. And hopefully we'll be able to offset some of that. Which all of these projects lead me into the capital budget. We have made capital budget requests for all departments. As you know, we're already committing by accepting some of the money to a capital budget for a few things. One, the court project is going to require a capital match of $650,000. Fire truck will be coming up for purchase this year. I'm not sure which company. I think it's Monhagen's is coming up, and I believe it's being reviewed now by the committees. And there'll be other projects that the city needs to engage in, building repairs, new roofing, I believe, on City Hall, and a few others. The City Hall roof might be in the ESG project, but you get the idea. There are capital work that needs to be done, including the purchase of some vehicles and heavy equipment. And I believe that's all I have for tonight. Any questions?
Any question for the mayor? Alderman
Yes.
Kleiner?
Mayor, on the resolutions we have tonight, rather than address them one by one that are coming up for the New York Rising project, could you talk about those just a little bit? I mean, it's for public meetings, et cetera. Is that for what we've already done in terms of public meetings and the kind of things we've done, or is that process going to repeat itself?
The biggest issue tonight in front of you with New York Rising is that we have to accept the federal procurement policy.
Okay.
So we have a state procurement policy that we follow, but we have to amend our ordinance or pass a resolution allowing us to use the federal procurement policy. And basically, the question was placed to Lori DeBoard, who's the regional rep handling the Middletown, Wallkill area with the New York Rising and the FEMA money and all of that, the other funding that's coming in for FEMA and through the storm, is that if we don't do it, you don't get the money. So I would say that if you don't pass it, we're not going to get the money. It's a requirement of the state and federal government that we do this under federal procurement guidelines. And that's the biggest resolution.
That's what this is.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm glad to see we're moving on it.
Nope.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Remarks of Alderman Summers.
First, let me thank all who voted for me on Election Day. I promise to work to represent your interest on the Common Council for the next 2 years. I also want to thank the Mayor, Common Council President, DPW Commissioner, and Engineer Vincent, I can't pronounce his last name, for attending our 4th Ward meeting on Monday the 9th. The meeting was very informative and answered many questions about the Bella Vista project. Finally, the Legislative Committee met to discuss the distribution of phone books as littering. We will not revise the code. However, Corporation Council will send a letter to the companies with options for distribution. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman John Francois.
Yes, good evening. I want to piggyback what Sandy has said. Basically, I just want to thank everybody that came out and vote for our last election. The voting was kind of low this year, and what that's telling me is I thought I was working hard for you guys. I guess for the next 2 years I have to work a little harder to get everybody to come out and vote. So I'm looking forward for the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Kleiner?
Thank you. Yeah, I thank people who did come out to vote when you have uncontested elections. You know, it's nice to see people actually coming out and still taking part, and there were some contested county judgeships. But considering that, you know, we're happy with the turnout as much as you can be. So thank you. I heard this from a lot of people. A lot of people who came out to vote did not know that that proposition was on the back of the ballot. And I don't know how we can address that in the future. We only had one proposition. I didn't know it was on the back of the ballot. I mean, I remember when we voted on it in June and approved it for the commission, but I wasn't thinking of it in terms of needing a referendum. And I don't think it said anywhere in the front of the ballot. When we voted at the senior center and the people reminded us and told us it was on the back, I even had a sample ballot mailed to me from the Board of Elections, but I never thought to turn it over to see, you know, because everything seemed to be there on the front. So if we have that in the future, I hope we can figure out a way to let people know. I want to thank the Elks Club and the American Legion, you know, Middletown and Town of Walk Hill for the Veterans Day program. I thought they did a very nice job. The Chris Varlikas tribute was also excellent. Thank you, Marie, and thank you everyone who helped with that. It was really well done, and hopefully people have said that might become a yearly tradition. I'd really like to see that. It's amazing when you heard some of the words that Chris had written. And I think other than that, you know, the warming center is open now. It opened this past Sunday. It opened November 15th. Nancy is back from having some surgery and hip replacement, but she's our volunteer coordinator. But again, 342-0209. If you think you can volunteer for a shift, there are some groups who did a lot of the volunteering, and they're not able to do it this year. So it's going to be a tough thing, but that's what makes it work, having 2 volunteers every night. And it's really been successful, so I hope people will think about doing that at some point. The other thing, I'll see everybody at the tree lighting on November 27th. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Witt?
Thank you very much. I'd like to sort of piggyback on what Jerry was saying and Maria. Invite everybody to come out on the 27th to the tree lighting ceremony. It's really a lot of fun. There's stuff for people for all ages. It's a good time. Bring the family. There's some good music, and be a good time. So come on out. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Johnson?
Yeah, certainly, having just completed my first term, I appreciate the opportunity to do that again. I've enjoyed observing some of the accomplishments of our administration, our collective efforts. I wish most of our community would be able to see some of the things that we're doing. And I certainly appreciate working with all of you on the council, in particular my fellow alderman from the 3rd Ward. And I appreciate all of her mentoring that she's done in the last 2 years. I congratulate our latest entrepreneur. Hopefully things will go well for that particular project. I also wanted to duly note there was an editorial in the paper last week talking about the administration's efforts with respect to our $11 million grant project. I found the article to be both accurate and astute, so my compliments to the author. And I hope other people in the decision-making process are reading some of the rationale for why we think we're more than deserving of $11 million to move the MPC project forward. And once again, compliments to all to put that together. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Rankin-Sill?
Good evening. Thank you, Paul, for your kind words. I think the mentoring goes both ways. But again, I thank you, for everyone who turned out to vote. Voting is to me, it's very important. As a female, it's especially important. But it's nice to see people who do turn out. I hope we can encourage more to vote every year. Every year there is a decision to be made. Every year it's important to be heard and to voice your opinion and to get educated on who's representing you in government. Some business items. The 3rd Ward meeting is next Tuesday. That's November 24th at 7 p.m. We know it's 2 days before Thanksgiving. So to sweeten the deal, I'm making my famous cheesecake. We'll have some snacks. It's kind of like a little holiday thing. So I hope people will come out and mingle with us that evening. We recently had the public hearing about speeding. It was the focus of our last neighborhood watch meeting. I drove down Highland Avenue this evening and saw the speed trailer was out. I clocked in at exactly 29 miles an hour. But it is a nice reminder. I'm a mom. I drive really slow. It's embarrassing. But it's a nice reminder. It's in your face how fast you're going. So hopefully that'll help alleviate some of the issues that they've been experiencing there. So it's nice to see that back out on the road. We did have the finance meeting tonight with the budget, and I just wanted to say again to the mayor, to Don, who's not here, to President Rodriguez and Alderman Massey, you guys did a great job. Put in a lot of work on this, so I just wanted to say good work. We do have tough choices to make, and we can't keep dipping into the pot before it's empty. So I look forward to making some movements on looking at sanitation. I'm personally a proponent of the robotic arm trucks, but that's another day. That's really all I have tonight. I'll leave it to that. I'll see everyone at the tree lighting. And also, just quickly, for the kids, Santa's coming to light the tree, but the rec department has out mailboxes for letters to Santa. I'm not 100% certain on their location, off the cuff. Down at Festival Square, right? Okay, one at City Hall, one at Festival Square. I know my kids are looking forward to dropping off their letters, so tell your little ones to write their letters, make their lists, and turn them in. So that's all I have tonight. Happy holidays.
Alderman Burr.
Thank you, President. The rec department met last Wednesday. We brought up a couple topics about raising some fees for our sports camp and our playtime. Our camps are well below the value of every other camp. We get $90 for a 5-week camp from 8 to 3. So Chris thought it was time that, we appreciate your support. We'll have a resolution probably the end of December or January for that. We also have 2 vacancies on our commission. As tonight, off a resolution off the floor, we want to fill one of those vacancies with Shauna Stenfield, we appreciate your support on that. I also attended the press conference. Mr. Mickelson, he's quite a man, Joe. They are doing a lot of money, putting a lot of money into the building, taking an old structure like that was an old, like Jerry said, everybody remembers it as the salt barn. It was the old O&W Railroad Stations repair shop. He's now putting the fountains outside. He's putting towers outside. So if we can find some money to improve the intake of that development on Midland Avenue, we appreciate that. And the last thing, wish everybody a happy holiday. I'd like to thank the people in my ward again, my 4th term. I'm getting to be a veteran, I think, pretty soon, and I appreciate the support. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Massey.
A few things. One, on that project that they had the press conference, a lot of credit has to go to Miguel. He did an awful lot for that. It's a huge project for Middletown, and we're lucky that he did that. And I want to thank the Elks Club, being a vet, that is kind of close to my heart, and I'm glad for all the people that keep coming out to that, and it's encouraging to see some younger people attending that, and the mayor was one of the speakers, and he did a real fine job. The Chris Farlacus tribute, Maria, everyone that was involved in that was terrific, and I certainly appreciate it. I got to get more people out in the first ward. I'm taking a terrible beating with the votes, but I did read there was a letter, and I won't mention any names, but it's easy to be complaining. You can be part of the solution. We would love for people to get involved. We truly would. Anyone that wants to get involved with a committee or get involved with the city, please get involved now, get involved early, and if you want to run, it's nice to run unopposed, and obviously we've all seen that, but if there are going to be contested races, we need people to get involved. I know I welcome it. I know my fellow council people certainly would like to see that, along with the president of the council and the mayor. Let's see. On 12/1, the public hearing that the mayor had mentioned on the budget is at 6 o'clock at night, and it's in his office. I wrote down something else. Oh, Miguel, is there any possibility that you can put in committee, while we're looking at the possible roundabouts in the Highland Avenue area, could you put in committee the possibility of exploring stop signs in that area?
So all of Highland Avenue?
The Highland
Section,
Avenue section, yeah. And finally,
Vote of the DPW.
I sympathize with the Commissioner of Public Works. I truly do. But as he has a job to do, I have a job to do. I'm the chairman of the Finance Committee, and along with Miguel and the mayor, we have to scrutinize budgets. I don't know if you read the paper today, but Port Jervis is in a somewhat tenuous position. They're looking at almost a 15%, 14.4%, I think, possible increase if they don't get into layoffs. Their fund balance is negligible now. I see the chief of the fire department there. I would love to give him more men. The chief of the police department we would love to be able to do it, but I have to look at it, and I have to come back to you people, and where there are areas, and this fund balance to me is very, very, very important. And if there are ways of not attacking the fund balance, I would go that route. The last option would be going to the fund balance. You can see that for next year, we're going into it for almost $300,000. So, because we may bicker back and forth, I understand where he's coming from, and I'm sure he truly understands where I'm coming from. We have different jobs, and that's what makes the process work, that you have people on both sides. If everyone just agreed on everything, the process just wouldn't work. And tough decisions have to be made, and next year, this council is going to have to make even tougher decisions. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Massey. I just want to thank the 2nd Ward and the 4th Ward for inviting us to your constituent meetings. It was very nice to meet and greet and talk to everybody in the 2nd and the 4th Ward. Just like what Mr. Massey said, we're going to assure our residents that we will have the salt. Everything will get done. I'll make sure that we will buy the salt. We will finance it. We will do it the right way. Mr. Massey is one of probably the best finance chairmen that we ever had. You can see he's very cheap, but we will keep our streets safe. We will have the salt. We will buy it. And I do have to thank Mr. Massey. He does go with that budget all the time, and he does check everything. So, but we will make ways to find the money and definitely buy. It's 500 tons of salt. We're not talking about a couple buckets of salt. We're talking about a lot of salt. And not only do we need it, but also I think we cover the school district and they buy our salt from us. So, or other entities, but we'll definitely have the salt. Okay, new business.
We have a resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey to declare asphalt millings as surplus and authorize the Commissioner of Public Works to give Cornell University Cooperative Extension of Orange County as much millings as he can spare from the city for road construction at the Education Center and the 4-H Park.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Burr. Any discussion? Jacob, I have a question. Yes, sir. Where is this construction, road construction?
It's for Cornell Cooperative Park, and I think it's closer to Mount Hope. Yeah, it's in Mount Hope.
Finchville Turnpike.
Mount Hope. Well, we're going to be giving them the millings. Other municipalities have been contributing with their trucks and equipment, heavy equipment, so we're not going to be trucking it over to them. We're just going to be loading it in some other municipality's truck, and then they'll drive it down there.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
John Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner to authorize the treasurer to transfer $500 within the Golden Area 2015 budget for the purchase of bus driver uniforms.
A resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner, second by Alderman John Francois. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
John Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey to authorize the treasurer to transfer $337,000 within the 2015 budget to correct the amount that should have been budgeted for bills that came in different than was initially projected.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez? Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey to authorize the treasurer to transfer $83,892 within the 2015 budget to cover the correction of a tail claim allocation as well as a 207 attorney fees not included in the original budget.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Ram Cassoon to declare 2 Middletown Police Department vehicles surplus, which are no longer in service and to be disposed of in the manner most advantageous to the city of Middletown, and reassign 1 vehicle from the Middletown Police Department to the City Middletown Department of Public Works.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Ram Cassoon, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Ram Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois to amend the code of the City of Middletown, Chapter 460 Vehicles and Traffic, Section 460-28 No Parking Zone, handicap permits to only remove the 1 parking spot directly in front of 112 North Beacon Street.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
John Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner to close streets at 6 p.m. for the annual tree lighting ceremony to be held on Friday, November 27th, 2015.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner, seconded by Alderman Witt. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois to amend Chapter 460 Vehicles and Traffic, Section 460-20 2-hour parking, and Section 460-12 no parking areas for Cottage and School Street.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Summers to award the purchase of a new electronic sign for the firehouse.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Summers, seconded by Alderman Massey. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey to award the bid for city surplus vehicles.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Ray Consume. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson to award the bid for the King Street project.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman Ray Consume. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson for the city to guarantee a bridge loan to pay construction costs for the rehabilitation of a house through the CDA at 53 Prospect Avenue and authorize the mayor to sign any and all paperwork related to the guarantee.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Ray Consume. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean-Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Summers. Resolution to adopt a citizens' participation plan as required under the New York State Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Summers, seconded by Alderman Massey. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean-Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Summers to adopt an affirmative action plan as required under the New York State Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Summers, seconded by Alderman Jean-Francois. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean-Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, adopting Section 504 policies and grievance procedures for the city of Middletown.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean-Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Graham Cassoon, adopting procedures and policies for the city of Middletown for the procurement of goods and services necessary for the implementation of projects funded by the Governor's Office of Storm Recovery for the New York State Housing Trust Fund Corporation.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Consume, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean-Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes. As offered, new business.
Alderman Burr.
I'd like to make a motion from the floor. Resolved that the Common Council of the City of Middletown concurs with the mayor's appointment of Shauna Steinfeld to the Middletown Rec Commission, replacing Jim Cristiano, term to expire on March 23rd, 2017.
Motion by Alderman Burr, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean-Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Local laws.
Nothing this evening.
Audit.
Mr. President, I move the accounts be audited, the claims be adjusted, and the city treasurer be authorized to issue warrants for their payment.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Burr. Roll.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Witt?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Graham Cassoon?
Aye.
Summers?
Aye.
Jean-Francois?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Massey?
Aye.
President Rodriguez?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Move for adjournment.
So moved.